Hey, Robert Docs here, and I've been wanting to make this video for a while now, and it's all about the containers and how do they work, what are the benefits of them, are they worth it, and how do they compare to traditional measuring cups. So, just to give you a little bit of background of where I was before using these containers, I I was using my FitnessPal, the app, and myfitnesspal.com, and using the measuring cups, and that's how I would track my fitness. I would just use that, and it worked pretty good. And that's the thing that I will always share with people. Now, when Beachbody, the company behind the containers, created these things, I initially was like skeptic, and I thought that the containers were stupid and they were girly and not for a guy like me. And I never considered using them until I started Insanity Max 30, because the nutrition guide for that program um, actually allowed you to use the containers. I guess the containers were so successful or popular with the 21 day fix, the program that introduced them, that Beachbody decided to add them to Max 30. So I got them. I was a little bit skeptic, but they have made a huge difference in the way I've eaten, especially because of these two containers here that I'm highlighting, the green and the purple. Those are the fruits and the vegetables. And usually when you're tracking macronutrients with MyFitnessPal, you're just focused on getting your total amount of carbs, proteins, and fats. And sometimes the grams from the vegetables or the fruits would be less than what you could get from bread or some other type of carbs. So I would just focus on eating more starchy types of foods, and I would often neglect the vegetables and the fruits, as well as seeds and dressings and oils. Not necessarily dressings, but oils, healthy fats. And the other thing that the measuring cups have really helped me out with was, of course, the portions. You see, all of the measuring cups have a different size, similar to the measuring cups. However, what the containers have is that they are color coded based upon the type of food that you should be eating. So, for example, the green one is for vegetables, so it tells you that how much vegetables you should have in one serving. And the same one is for the protein, the red one. And this is huge because for me, I was eating about two chicken breasts in one sitting. So all I was thinking was about getting those grams. So I was trying to get like 50 grams of protein or more in a meal. And I always felt acidic after the meal, and I felt like it was too much. And I always was like gagging, eating all that protein. And eating based on the containers on this serving size, which is oftentimes like the size of one chicken breast diced, I've been able to enjoy my foods better and haven't been having that feeling of either I'm too stuffed or I don't want to eat anymore or I'm acidic afterwards. So, like I said in the title of the video, measuring cups versus the containers. So, basically, the containers are or work similar to measuring cups. They have a pre set amount of content that you can put on. They go from a cup to, I think, 1/8 of a cup. Similar. I don't have all the measuring cups here, but this would be the same as that one. So basically, they do the same function of measuring your food. However, the perks of the containers are, number one, they have a lid. You can store foods in it. I oftentimes store my proteins and my vegetables for the next day, as well as half of sweet potatoes if I cook a sweet potato, I'll put half in one of those yellow containers for the next meal or the next day. So the lids are one of the advantages over the measuring cups. The other cool thing is that, again, since they're color coded, it helps you skip a step. It helps you not have to figure out how many grams of protein should I have in this meal, or how many carbohydrates is too much. So by color coding, it takes the work out of it. It makes it easier for you. So, and I think this is great for both people who are starting out and people who just need a change of pace. I needed a change of pace. I was so tired of doing the same thing over and over that when I started using these containers and I started eating a more balanced nutrition, including healthy fats, whole grain, carbohydrates, proteins, fruits, and vegetables, I started eating in a way that my body was appreciating more. Another cool thing about these containers is, especially over the measuring cups, is that it better teaches you on how to properly eat. I think it does a better job at showing you how to um, use portion control, because the measuring cups, you can use whichever um, size of the cups for whatever meals you have, but these ones are already determined. You can't be putting a carb on the green container. That would be going against what the program implies. So I think it does a great job, and I've seen it in in real life when I go to a restaurant. Before I would order based on my macros, and it was somewhat stupid because I would order all sorts of meats. I would order like steak with salmon at the same time and a little bit of vegetables, and all just so I could hit those macros. But with these things, when I after using them for a while, I've become used to knowing how many of these containers do I eat per day. And and basically I went to a Chinese restaurant and I knew I was gonna get my protein. I knew I was gonna get some type of carbohydrate, whether it was brown rice or white rice. In my Chinese place, they have brown rice, so I had brown rice. And I also was gonna have some vegetables. So I went into the restaurant knowing what I needed to eat based upon on the containers. And also because I'm eating so often from these containers, I could eyeball what the serving size was simply by looking at it, just because I'm used to seeing my plates based upon using these containers as opposed to the measuring cups. That's not to say that you cannot become an intuitive eater with the measuring cups, but I just think it's way easier with the coded containers. And you can still track how you're eating. Here I have the food tracker for Max 30, and you just track how many containers you've eaten on a particular day, and it works pretty good for me. I've enjoyed using this. And here I also have my custom made meal plan that it just helps me. It gives me an idea of what to eat every day based on what has worked in previous days. And that's pretty much it, guys. I initially thought these containers were silly, stupid, and girly, but I found to have been wrong, and they're quite effective, and I highly recommend it for anyone who is either starting on their journey or who has been struggling. Maybe you're in a plateau, or maybe you just want a change of pace and you want to just eat a more balanced and healthier diet or nutrition. So I hope this video helps. If you guys have any questions, be sure to ask me at coachducks@gmail.com or simply post it below. I'm happy to help you. Until next time, guys.